the personalized content is unique for each user.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, I think everyone, maybe you can give a go on the system, and I can add more introduction about this project. The aim of the project is actually to use AI generated analogy to help beginners who want to learn AI concepts but actually have no prior knowledge of AI. So we use this analogy approach to help you link what you know from your familiar domain and transfer those knowledge from your favorite story to the difficult concepts. So actually, you can try the story that you feel more related to, or you feel more like empathetic to. Like for me, I would prefer Korean drama. So I just tried with The Law from the Star, and I got a really fascinating analogy that I feel related to. So just give a go on this system and share what you got with the analogy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I haven't put the link to the group. All right. So I just send the link again to the group. So if you're coming in, let me do one more try. So not this number.
Nick, I think you can open another searching engine, like
Another, like a
use.
browser.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me open another browser. I need to share the other browser. Give me 1 second. Uh, all right. Can you see my browser now? Oh, no, this one. Sorry, give me 1 second. No.
And also while it's loading, I'm just trying to understand that personalization input, is that based on both my selection around, the Dragon Ball, whatever the first part, and also the questionnaire I was filling out? It's sort of a combination of all of that coming to the.
Um, yes, we're trying to add like your personal background, your educational level, your like everything you answered in the questionnaire as input in the prompt.
Okay.
So what's the TV show's name?
Nick, I'm not sure which TV show you like. I think it would be quite different from mine.
Okay, so let me
Or
just
maybe you can
search
use Big Bang,
Big Bang.
Sherlock, Marvel Universe.
Yeah, let's try Big Bang. So this one, I put my occupation as a lawyer. All right. Okay, let's quickly go through the first 5 questions. Yeah, I think there probably something wrong related to the first subject. Maybe during the modification, the first subject is not adding the personalization in. But I think the second one, it's better. Yeah, but we just quickly go through this time, and if not, then we'll make the further change and let you know once we've done.
I was just trying that out. I mean, I filled it out twice, but it just kept saying your response has been recorded. Asked me to submit another response, but it didn't give me the output, if that makes sense.
Oh, you can come back to the original page and there is a continue button.
Oh, okay.
there's a continue button on the first page. So there are two tabs. So this tab is for the information, and this tab just for the actual form. Okay, so this one coming out with some like stuff making sense. Okay, yeah, so definitely we will probably will keep improving this one, then to make it more personalized for all the users. Yeah, then feel free to try it out and giving us the feedback anytime. All right, so because the time is almost 5:50, let's jump into the last part of today, which is the presentation from Dr. Lin. Let me switch back to the other second. Second. So, all right. So Yonghao Lin, he's a postdoc doctor research fellow in Human-Computer Interaction Institute at Carnegie Mellon University. So his research interests including the learning analytics, artificial intelligence in education, educational feedback, educational dialogue, and natural language processing. So today he will give us the sharing about AI in education, and also because he's in the United States, so the time zone difference, he also couldn't join today online. But if you same as Dr. Lee, if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact him through this email. All right.
Okay, hello everyone. Thanks
Can everyone hear the voice? The sound?
Yes.
for attending my presentation today. It's my pleasure to introduce myself and my recent works at this amazing event. So, my name is Junhao Lin, and today I would like to talk about a topic, AI enhanced learning and understanding and generating educational feedback. So first, let me briefly introduce myself. As you know, my name is Junhao Lin, and I did my PhD degree in computer science at Monash University in 2023. So I actually stayed in Australia for roughly 5 years for the master and also the doctoral degree. And now I'm doing my postdoc research at the School of Computer Science at Carnegie Mellon University in US. And my research interests include AI in education, feedback and dialogue, large language model, and also natural language processing application. So before jumping into my today's research findings, I would like to give you some background about learning science. So according to Herbert Simon, learning results from what a student does and thinks, and only from what a student does and thinks. The teacher can advance learning only by influencing what a student does to learn. And however, given that human teachers are limited in number, so it becomes challenging to influence the learning for large student cohorts. And also additionally, training teachers to meet the qualified level is also challenging. So to address these issues, so some AI researchers believe that it is necessary to empower the educators in their practice, and actually the AI holds the promise. And the researchers also believe that AI can provide some opportunities in the education, including like provide personalized learning, content generation. So the content may involve some mathematics content or some other STEM education learning materials. And the AI can also be used to design the language learning tools. So you can imagine that you have an AI chatbot, and then you want to learn English or Chinese, and then you can just type some words and then send it to the chatbot, and then have a kinds of conversation with the AI. And finally, the AI is also expected to provide some educational feedback to support students' learning. So there are many types of generative AI, recently quite popular in the world. So we know that the ChatGPT, Sora, that's a recent one, can generate a video. And then we have the DALL-E to generate an image, and also other types of generative AI in recent. And here I would like to give you a specific definition of generative AI. So the generative AI refers to the artificial intelligence that can generate new content based on the learning from a vast amount of existing data sets. And so you can see, you can just send a quite simple statement to the ChatGPT, for example, like give me an Aussie joke, and then ChatGPT can return something to you. So basically, we say this like this is a prompting process to let ChatGPT to work on your request. So nowadays, researchers gradually shift their focus from the traditional AI techniques to the generative AI, and more researchers believe that the generative AI can also provide the opportunities, these kinds of opportunities in education. Because since my research mainly focus on the educational feedback, so I would like to give you some of my recent findings in applying the generative AI and also maybe some traditional AI techniques to the education feedback. So why feedback? So feedback is one of the most effective teaching methods which can enhance the student's learning. So the feedback could be like in the written feedback. So imagine when you were students, you may receive these kinds of feedback from your tutors or lecturer, like the grade and also some comments about how to improve your works for the next or in the future. And the feedback can also be delivered in the dialogue tutoring form. So we can have the one-on-one, like the in-person conversation, or maybe we can have the dialogue tutoring by using some text-based chat platform. So you can see the right-hand side, we have a tutor and a student. They are discussing some mathematical problem. However, it should be noted that providing effective feedback for the large learner cohort is actually a really big challenge. So because inspired by the recent success of generative AI in education or other domains, we expected that generative AI can provide the automated feedback for the students' work, like further influence their learning. So by doing this, we need to first understand the constructs of the effective feedback. So what kinds of information can the effective feedback present in the actual form? So for example, like some attributes of effective feedback, like we need to think about like how to build the teacher and the learner relationships, and then also encourage the positive learner effect. And we also need to highlight the strengths of the performance, and sometimes we also need to provide critics about students' performance, like when the students make some errors. And yet it's also really important to provide some actionable information to help the students with future improvements. So by understanding these attributes of effective feedback from the educational literature, then how can we teach AI to comprehend these attributes? So you can see here we basically can collect some data set from the real world teaching process. For example, like the log trace data sets from the learning management system, and also maybe some digital form of the feedback. We can do some natural language processing to understand some key information from the feedback. So that's why we need the AI models to convert this information into a numerical form. And then once we get some like numerical data sets, then we can do some data visualization, and then we can further write a report to present our findings from the data. And then by using this insight and also the findings, we can further enhance the teaching and learning environment. So then, what insights on the educational feedback can be drawn from the generative AI? To answer this question, let's first look at the traditional way to process the educational feedback. And here is the first question: what kinds of attributes of written feedback are correlated with the student performance? To analyze this, to answer this question, we use the traditional machine learning models to analyze the data sets. So here we have 272 feedback on the postgraduate students writing, and then this feedback actually from the instructors, and then we use some traditional method like Look, Cocometrics, Politeness tool, and also the XGBoost for the student performance prediction. And the highlights of this work is we proposed a framework to quantify the quality of the written feedback content using the AI methods. And we also provided some practical suggestions for the educators to provide the quality of the feedback. So here you can see we have this table, and then we try to map some attribute of the effective feedback with some computational features. So for example, like strengthen teacher and the learner relationships, we have some computational features like the machine learning features like politeness strategies, and also the relational impact. We can extract these features from the tutor's feedback by using some like the politeness tools like in R package, and also we can also use the Look computational framework to get a relational impact features. And then by analyzing these features from the tutor's feedback, we can provide some suggestions for the tutors, like in crafting the feedback in future, like to improve the feedback quality in future. So first, the comments to students' errors actually as part of the feedback is unavoidable. And then crafting feedback comments in polite language for the actually the no knowledge students is recommended. And then, so you can see in the table, a process and a self-regulate. This process is a suggestion for the students, and then self-regulate level is kind of a question for the students. So based on this table, we draw a conclusion like to assist the students' improvement on the subsequent task. It is really important to demonstrate comments in the questions or suggestion form, that is process level and also the self-regulated level. And the instructors may also consider reminding the low performance students of the successful goals, and then making some efforts to elaborate the detailed comments. And the results also show some features related to the writing and also the clarity of the feedback. So that is the finding from the pre-generative AI age. So now I would like to talk about some findings from by using the generative AI. And we proposed the question like, can generative AI provide feedback to the students? We used a similar data set, 100 feedback from on the postgraduate student writing. And then now we evaluate the feedback actually generated from the ChatGPT. Now it's not from the human instructor, but actually from the ChatGPT on the student's writing. And then here's the highlights for this study. So we prompt ChatGPT, and then we investigate the ChatGPT's potential about like guiding the students toward improving their task. and also even developing their learning skills. So before describing the details of our findings, I would like to also briefly introduce or describe the prompt. So prompting, which involves the use of some specific statements to guide the large language models, that is LLM. And actually prompting has been identified as a significant step or technique for using the capabilities of large language models in education. And the first finding from our study is we can see prompting the ChatGPT can generate more readable feedback with greater consistency than the human instructors, which means that from our annotators' perspective, they believe that ChatGPT, the writing, actually is more readable than the human instructors or human tutors. And then we also noted that the limitation of ChatGPT, that is, ChatGPT cannot offer sufficient information to guide students compared to the human instructor. So you can see in the table, I use a red frame to highlight some key information here. ChatGPT actually just provide fewer or less information about the process level feedback compared to the human instructor. And there is no regulation level feedback for the students. But instructors, human instructors, they actually provide a certain number of the regulation level feedback. So which means that there still needs some further improvements, or we probably need to examine the capability of GPT-4 providing whether GPT-4 can provide these kinds of information like process level feedback or regulation level feedback. So it should be noted that our study was featured by an Australian social media, that is Campus Morning Mail. So, and yeah, if you are interested, so you can search our paper on the website, search this website, and then also check some key comments from this website about our paper. And yeah, we also have some summary about the concerns of GPT models. So the first one is hallucination. We also noted that ChatGPT provide some off-topic or incorrect responses. And apart from that, some responses are actually quite generic, not specific to the our task. For example, like providing the feedback for students. Sometimes ChatGPT just says some words quite broad or generic. I mean, not specific to help students learn improvements in the future. So my research mission is to unlock the AI's potential for the social benefits and also try to empower the educators, not replacing the human instructors, because we want to preserve the human touch. And then the ultimate goal is to ensure equal access to the educational tools for every learner. So that's all about my today's presentation, and also thanks for your attention.